Hello and welcome to this video wherein I'll talk about 10 things you need to know before coming to Canada. To begin with my brief introduction, my name is Anushka Gandhi and it's been almost 2.5 years that I've been in Canada. So this video is clearly going to be based upon my experiences, both good and bad, during my initial days in Canada. This could help you avoid doing the same mistakes and help you cope during those initial crucial days of yours in Canada. So without any further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing which I would like to talk about is your transit from the airport to your destination. So it's pretty obvious that you won't be staying at the airport, so you need someone who could pick you up from the airport and drop you to your place of residence. In that case, you've got a few options out there. First and foremost is booking an Uber ride. So it's pretty straightforward, just like in any other country. Book an Uber ride and it will help you drop to your place of residence. The second option which you've got, which is also the most common option here in Canada, is booking a rideshare. Now there are many Facebook groups out there wherein you can post an ad, and you can definitely find at least one person who could pick you up and drop you to your location. The third option is city or intercity cabs. So every city here in Canada has got their own cab system. There are also some intercity cab websites. You just have to dial their number and you will find the cab coming at your doors. The fourth option which I chose was just getting a taxi out of an airport. So as soon as you get out of the airport, you will find a lot of taxi drivers standing out there and they can help you dropping to your location. Now in that case, you have to be very careful, because there was this one scam happened to me, and this is coming from my personal experience, because as soon as I got out from the airport, I found this one person who agreed on taking me to Kitchener, which was my place of residence, for $100. Now Kitchener is a place which is located almost 150 kilometers away from Toronto airport, and $100 was a good deal for me. So as soon as I was about to reach my destination, this guy mentioned something about taxes, and he said I was supposed to pay these taxes on top of the agreed price. So on top of $100, I was supposed to pay taxes, which is a common law in Canada. I obviously didn't want to get any trouble since it was my first day in Canada, so I agreed upon paying the taxes. As soon as I reached my destination, he also mentioned about paying a tip. Now this was something new, but he mentioned that it's a common practice in Canada and I was supposed to pay a tip no matter what. Although I believe that tip is something which comes from you without any burden, but this was something he asked me to pay no matter what. So again, I didn't want to get into any trouble being my first day in Canada, so I agreed upon paying and I ended up paying $200. So just want to put it out there, do not pay anything unless you wish to do so. Okay, so the second thing which I'd like to mention is to book your temporary place of residence before you come into Canada. Do not go for hotels. Reason 1, it's expensive. Reason 2, it doesn't provide you with utensils to cook your own food, and during your initial days, going out and eating expensive restaurant food would not be good for your pocket. So try to save as much as money you could. Book your Airbnb stay even before you come in here, and book your stay enough. Do not book it for a couple of days and think it will be enough for you to find your permanent place of residence, because trust me guys, it's coming from my personal experience. I ran out of time and I had to stay in a hotel for a couple of days, even though I booked an Airbnb stay for a week long. So book your Airbnb stay enough. It's cheap and it's very comfortable. Okay, so the third thing which I would like to mention about is your accommodation, which is also going to be your permanent place of residence here in Canada. One thing I would like to put up there is please do not pre-book your places before coming to Canada. Stay here in a temporary residence, stay here in an Airbnb or a hotel and hunt for good places until you find one. The only reason being, you do not know how the places actually look like in person, if it has got an access to the public transit which you might need to go to your work or to your school, if it has got grocery stores nearby, if it has clean environment, because trust me guys, I've had some friends who ended up staying with bugs. So you never know what happens. It's always better to visually analyze the place and then only book and pay. So the fourth thing which I would like to talk about is to get your SIN. Now SIN is something you need in order to find a job, in order to open a bank account here. So it is very important. For that, you need to approach to Service Canada. As soon as you get here, rest for a couple of days and then book an appointment at Service Canada. Now that is how it used to work back in the time when I came here. I'm not sure how the situation is at the moment, but it's always better to give them a call, and I'm pretty sure they'll let you know the exact detail about how to get a SIN. But I'm pretty sure it's very straightforward. So about the SIN, I would like to mention there are many scams going on at the moment. So try not to expose this SIN number to anyone, maybe your closest friend, except for the employer. Trust me, no one needs it. So keep your SIN as safe as you could. Just learn the numbers and that's pretty much it. You do not need to give your SIN details to literally anyone who asks for it. Okay, so after you have the SIN in your hand, the next step you need to do is approach the bank with whom you've got your GIC account with. In my case, it was pretty straightforward because it was Scotia Bank, and it's pretty easy because Scotia banks are available here at every nook and corner. So it's easy to get appointments with them. You just have to approach the bank, get your account activated, you get your debit card, your credit card, and you can secure your $2,000 in your bank. Now, I would like to put a little disclaimer out there. Try not to use your $2,000 immediately. I know you get the urge to spend money as soon as you come into a new country. You find so many shopping areas. Try to save this money as much as you can because I'm pretty sure you might need it somewhere, especially in terms of finding a job. It could be difficult to find a part-time job as soon as you drop in here. So try to save money, keep your bank account safe. So the next thing which I would like to talk about is your furniture, your bed, your mattresses. It's pretty obvious as soon as you move into a new place, your new house, you would look to decor it a little bit. But trust me guys, I would advise you not to go for heavy stuff. So do not go for buying heavy bed frames or bed boxes. The only reason being, if you happen to move to a new place, it could be a bit of a hassle to shift along with this entire thing. So try to keep your stuff as concise as you could. I would advise you to buy a good mattress, which you could find anywhere, literally anywhere, at any Walmart store, Canadian Tire, Costco, literally anywhere. Again, a quick disclaimer there, do not go to buy mattresses on Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji, although you'll find cheap deals there. Trust me guys, they could have bugs in it or there could be any other problem. So try to buy mattresses as clean and hygienic as you could. Okay, so now I would like to talk about bringing ration from home. So try to carry some non-perishable food items with you, which could help you suffice your hunger at least for a month here in Canada. The only reason being, you never know how the weather turns out to be, although it's pretty good all the time, but again, exceptions do happen. So especially if you're coming in winter, you never know how much cold it could be and how much cold you could handle. So try to have your bags filled with non-perishable food items. You could bring uncooked rice, uncooked dal, packs of Maggies or pre-made meals. Nowadays you get all kind of pre-made meals, so it's easy to carry them and you can at least suffice your hunger for a few days. Okay, so this is something I would like to put out there. Although this is not pretty common, this could be an exception, but trust me guys, you don't want that exception to happen with you. So trust your roommates wisely. This is not from my personal experience because I was lucky to have good roommates, but you never know what turns out to be, right? So choose your roommates wisely. I have heard about a lot of incidences wherein there were incidents of stealing money, stealing expensive items from the roommates. So try to, no matter how much you trust your friend, how much you've known them for, before leaving your house, try to keep your expensive stuff inside your wardrobe and lock it up. No matter how much you trust someone, because you don't know what someone would have in their minds. So this is not something to put a negativity out there. It is something to make you aware about, because trust me, things do happen and you don't want that to happen with you. So choose your roommates wisely and try to keep your stuff as safe as you could. Now I know a lot of people must have mentioned this to you earlier, but I would still like to put it up there. Do not buy your electronics outside of Canada. The only reason being, electronic items are very cheap here in Canada. If you're planning to buy a new laptop before coming here for your new course, make sure your course asks you to bring your own laptop, because there are some courses out there who would provide you the accessories rather than asking you to bring your own laptop. So just make sure there. If your course asks you to buy your own device, make sure you've got all the dimensions, all the requirements of the devices well understood, because some courses demand you to have the exact requirements for the device which you've got. So before buying anything, before taking any step, make things clear, ask for it. So the next thing which I'm going to talk about is something that I've already mentioned a bit about in the transit part. So rideshare is something that I want to talk about, which is very commonly used here in Canada. You'll find a lot of Facebook groups wherein you can just post one ad and you can find someone who could help you commute in the city or even outside of the city. So there's one disclaimer which I would like to put is, please do not pay upfront. Please do not pay unless you've received the ride, unless you've reached the destination. Try to keep some cash with you, which becomes easy for you to pay to the driver. And the second thing which I would like to mention is, do not go for Uber during your initial days, only because it's expensive and you would want to save as much as money as you could. Now the third thing which I would like to put up there is, I've had so many incidences wherein people have booked rides and the person has not shown up. So try to have plans, options with you, option A, B, C. The best thing to rely upon is the public transit here. Okay, so the final thing which I would like to mention today is about basements in Canada. I know it sounds pretty exciting to be staying in a basement in Canada, but trust me guys, it could turn into an annoying experience. It's coming from my own personal experience, so I would not recommend you to choosing basement as your first option. Although it is cheap, although it's easily accessible, try to keep it as your final option in your house hunt. The only reason being, in Canada there's a trend of having centralized AC, so the AC is always on the first floor or the main floor of Canadian houses. So if you're staying in a basement, it's always going to have an extreme temperature, meaning in winter it's going to be very cool, in summer it's going to be super hot. So you need to always have a second source of cooling or heating while living in basement. So it's always better to keep it as a final option in your house hunt and just look for some apartment or the main floor in a house. Okay, so this is all about today's video. I hope you like it. If you do so, please consider to subscribe to my channel and hit the like button. If you want to hear a little more about life in Canada, feel free to put your comments down in the comment box.